Wednesday's Times next. It looks like Nicola is getting one step ahead of herself. Leo, I imagine you're going to have a few things to say about Nicola Sturgeon. I've heard you talk about her before. Is it fair to say you're not her number one fan?
I'm not a massive fan of Nicola Sturgeon, so she's still banging the drum for independence. She wants another independence referendum, even though it's supposed to be a once-in-a-generation thing. And like, when was it? 2014?
How small is this generation?
And yeah, I know. Well, this is why. I mean, health outcomes for Scottish people, the life expectancy is dropping so far that pretty soon 7 years will be a generation.
Fair enough.
So
that's probably what she means. Yeah.
Maybe that's why she's trying to get us to all die so young. But yeah, so she wants another independence referendum and is banging the drum for that. She says there's a huge case for it. She's had to admit that there's going to be issues around. I mean, because obviously the money, we're not going to be able to use, in Scotland we won't be able to use pounds anymore. We'll have to have Scottish pfennigs or the euro. So that's going to cause huge problems with trade with the rest of the UK.
You could trade like you used to in the Highlander. You could trade with cattle. Isn't that what people like William Wallace did? What do you
How many cattle can you fit in your wallet?
Well, that's a very good point. This is my knowledge of Scotland, by the way, coming through. Diane, what do you think about this? Are you a fan of Nicola Sturgeon?
I'm not a fan of what she's trying to do.
Do you want to keep the union together?
I do want to keep the union together. And what I object to is that she seems to sort of throw everything across at England and go, bro, we don't want to be a part of you. And it's like, mate, you can't even take the rubbish out in Glasgow. You can't even organise the clean-up of your own cities. Glasgow looked a state in that climate.
They do,
and
have
it looks
even
worse now.
They have issues with high levels of drug use. I know you've talked about that on the programme before.
And it's like, why don't you get your house in order? And also, what I think is amazing is that there would have to be a border between Scotland and England because you would have to have border checks.
Yeah, this is something that Nicola Sturgeon has admitted. She's saying there will have to be a hard border, even though on the Andrew Marr show before she was saying no. She was sort of implying that wouldn't be the case. With all that's happening with Northern Ireland, the Northern Ireland Protocol, you would have thought that the implementation of a hard border between England and Scotland wouldn't this be a disaster for everyone?
If you're going through Stranraer on a truck, which is a trade route from England through Scotland, Stranraer to Northern Ireland to Ireland,
I've done that.
You're going to go through several different border checks and several different currencies on that trip. It's ridiculous. It's unworkable. Scotland does, I think, 66% of its trade with the rest of the UK. This would completely destroy the Scottish economy.
Which way do you think it would go, Diane?
Well, I really... What, if they had a referendum like tomorrow?
Yeah.
Oof, I'm hoping that actually because of all the Northern Ireland stuff, I'm hoping that enough people would go, we don't want a hard border, and I'm hoping that. But I don't always get what I want when votes come around.